the only thing I'm plenty of. Rewind, scheme wine, you're sure to find happiness, and I guess all those things. Gee, I love to see you.
I know. Jasper is a bore. There you are, Jasper. You all right, darling?
Oh, yes, I'm all right. Thanks. Perfectly all right. Just a bit tired, that's all. In fact, I think I may go home in a moment. I did rather promise Mother I'd tie up the branches of the nectarine tree against the garden wall before it got dark.
In the course of that restless night, I made a decision which was really quite melodramatic, coming from me.
I've decided to resign, Mother.
Oh, Jasper.
I'm going to live in Paris.
Oh, Jasper. But your job's so safe. It's almost impossible to be sacked from the civil service.
Is that what I'm seeking out of life, Mother? Safety? I mean, am I that boring? I want to live.
That's all very well, dear. We all want to live, but what will you live on?
I'll paint.
Oh, Jasper.
Look, what is all this, oh, Jasper, Mother? I feel I have a genuine talent. Sorry. I may not be a genius, but my efforts are consistently superior to those of the other exhibitors of the Whitehall Arts Club.
Oh, Jasper.
Excuse me, madam. Would you care to take this seat?
Thanks, ever so. Did you say something? Did you say there was another seat?
No, ma'am. But I think this young lady's about to offer you hers. Aren't you?
Don't mind. Thank you.
Suddenly I realized that a new chapter in my life was about to open. My umbrella would have to go. Let this be the first gesture of revolt. À bas le parapluie. A bore indeed. That was not how Mark Fairweather would view me when I handed in my resignation.
What's that in your buttonhole?
Delphinium.
Never saw that in a man's buttonhole before. The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la. How would you like a complete change of routine? A break from all this? Out with the in tray, out with the out tray?
Well, as a matter of fact, Mark, I would like a break, and I was intending to tell you today. I want to resign.
No, can't have that. We have a job that's a little out of the ordinary. It requires tact and discretion, so I'm asking you to tackle it, Jasper.
Oh.
There's an outlying division of the ministry. It's very small, which seems to have become rather isolated from headquarters. It has a staff of only 3, an obscure university don called Pollux, a statistician called Quirk, and a female person. It's called Output Statistics. Its purpose was to collect and analyze the output of foreign publications, but frankly, it was set up rather hurriedly during the Battle of Britain and has never been screened for redundancy.
What, since 1940? You mean the ministry has forgotten it for 17 years?
Not forgotten, Jasper. Overlooked. It's quite different. They're in a big house on the border of Norfolk and Suffolk. It belongs to a backwoodsman peer, the Earl of Flamborough. Here's their output for the past 3 months.
Good Lord.
Now, I don't want to put words into your mouth. You have a completely free hand, of course, but it would do your career no harm at all if you were to find that its work during and immediately after the war was of immense value, but its usefulness is now over, and it should be wound up instantly.
Oh, no, I don't think this is my cup of tea, Mark.
You'll go tomorrow, take your painting kit. The place is called Arcady Hall. Good luck, Jasper.
It was, after all, a good umbrella, and it might rain. Even in Arcady.
There's an unchanging look about this part of the world, isn't there?
Oh, I do hope so. I can't bear to read about estates being broken up and all those lovely old houses going to rack and ruin or being given over to government departments or lunatic asylums.
Yes, I'm going to one that's been partly taken over by a government unit. Arcady Hall.
Flamborough's place? What are you going there for?
Tact and discretion.
Oh, just for social reasons. And to do some painting. Do you know Arcady Hall, then?
Well, I met Lord Flamborough quite often when I was a girl, and then after the war, I mean the First World War, of course, parsons' daughters couldn't quite compete. Then he married a really lovely person, Lady Flamborough, Mabel. He's odd, of course, even odder since his accident.
Oh, dear. What accident?
During the general strike, he volunteered to drive an engine. He'd always been mad about trains. He was at Norwich or somewhere, getting up steam or whatever it is one does, when some of the railwaymen who were on strike molested him. He was polishing the brass on the nameplate, I believe, when they got into the cab and let the brake off. The train had started to move, and as Bertie, Lord Flamborough, tried to clamber onto the footplate, he fell under the wheels, run over by his own engine. Had to have both legs amputated.
How awful.
Oh, I'm sure you won't find him at all morbid. Besides, he has 3 beautiful daughters, and I'm sure you'll enjoy their company.
Oh, no. No, I've discovered I haven't got what it takes with girls. Besides, I won't have time with my painting.
I'm staying at Flagsfield with my old nanny. I may well pop over and have a look at some of your work. Well, almost finished.
May I see it?
By all means. Although I'm afraid it may seem rather dull and old-fashioned to a young artist.
Oh, Emily. Excuse me. The last train to Arcady hasn't gone yet, has it?
Yes, sir. Went 4 years ago.
I had booked in at the Verley Arms, named after the family which had occupied Arcady Hall for 400 years. Not even Paris could have competed with my first poignant sight of the hall in the moonlight. I set off eagerly the next morning. I had telephoned the professor and pretended that I was just making a casual visit. Would my powers of diplomacy be up to the task ahead? In the face of such majestic beauty, I felt it unbefitting to enter through the main gates. I found a more modest and altogether more suitable entrance.
told me you were coming. Wait a minute and I'll come down. You're not what I expected.
What did you expect?
Grey striped trousers, an umbrella and a bowler hat. And probably pince-nez.
I'm sorry to have to disappoint you.
Crikey, I'm not disappointed. Apart from the umbrella, you look quite dashing. You'll do excellently. We're distinctly short of able-bodied men in these parts. Come on. What's your name?
Jasper Pye. And yours?
Belinda.
Ah, you must be one of Lord Flamborough's daughters.
Yes, the wicked one. Are you married?
No.
Girlfriend?
Not now.
All clear then. Wizzo.
I ought to try and find Professor Pollux, really.
No good looking for him now. He's gone to Flaxfield to arrange about the marquee for the fete. Won't be back till this afternoon. You'd only find Quirky who bore you with the latest batting averages. You better come and see Daddy. He's always glad of company.
What a labour it must be keeping all these hedges trimmed.
We leave all that sort of thing to the prof. Though Mummy sees to the flowers, she's a mad keen gardener.
Oh, I'm rather fond of gardening myself.
Then you'll make a hit with Mummy. I can see you settling down here for quite a while. You can't go before Monday anyway. The fete's on Monday.
What fete is this?
We hold it every August bank holiday. It's in aid of fallen women.
I beg your pardon?
The fund for fallen women. Girlies like me, but who haven't been so careful.
Well, I don't suppose I'll be able to stay that long. And anyway, it doesn't sound quite my line.
Not interested in fallen women, then?
Not as a social problem, I must admit.
Not in the mass, you mean?
No, not in the mass.
But individually, perhaps.
Yes, perhaps. Individually.
Thanks be for small mercies, anyway.
Oh, no, I don't mean I've no feeling for him. It just isn't a problem I've come up against.
You will. Ow!
I'm so sorry.
No harm done. That's a lot better. I think you've got more feeling for fallen women than you think you have.
I thought we were supposed to be going towards the hall.
Oh, Daddy doesn't live in the hall any longer. He's down at the station across the park.
Belinda, will you stop spooning for a moment and help me with the bridge?
Coming, Mummy.
Why your father chooses to exile us both to the far side of the park, I cannot imagine. I should get a girlfriend to look after him and save my poor feet.
Never mind, Mummy, it keeps you fit. And Jasper will carry your plants.
Oh, of course.
Oh, how do you do? Thank you so much. Now, Linda, dear, you'll have to interrupt your studies and go up to the hall. Quirky wants someone to help him sort out all the bunting.
But I was taking Jasper to see Daddy.
Well, Jasper can come with me. Who is Jasper, by the way?
He's the man from the ministry.
I didn't know we were expecting one. Still, you'll lunch with us, of course.
Thank you very much, Lady Flamborough.
Now, run along, Linda. Make sure Quirky gets out the flags of all nations as well as the bunting.
See you later.
I didn't realise you were one of the Professor's people. I thought you were just one of Linda's suitors.
I really must apologise, Lady
Oh,
Flamborough.
no, that's quite all right. There's always plenty of lunch. Bertie eats enough for 3. Do him good to go without his 3rd helpings. Come and see my aspidistras. It's too cold for them in East Anglia, but I've managed to grow some in the shelter of the chapel ruins. They're flourishing like stinkhorns. Look, they're flowering. Amusing, aren't they?
What a romantic sight this is.
Slugs.
I beg your pardon?
All done by slugs. They fertilise the blossoms.
How long has this been in ruins?
Oh, as long as anyone can remember. They used to hold village weddings here when Bertie was a boy. Quite irregular, of course, but the village people still have an idea that if a child is fathered on one of the girls here, it ranks as being born in wedlock, whether the parents are married or not.
What a convenient legend.
Rather a prickly place for a tryst, but it certainly suits the aspidistras.
Yes, they look like native wild flowers, but I suppose they really come from Kashmir or Tibet.
Well, I get them from Thompson and Morgan. A shilling a plant. These are all Aspidistra elatior. That's variegata, and we call that the Milky Way. This is variegata exotica. Oh, and this is Aspidistra lurida, which, as you can see, is lanceolate.
Yes, what are these here?
Oh, those are primulas. Primula obconica. That's Matilda, and this is Aspidistra typica, which is elliptical to lanceolate. Wake up, Tilly, nearly time for lunch. My youngest, Matilda. Funny girl. Spends all her time reading old-fashioned thrillers and waiting to be seduced by a sinister monk. She'll grow out of it. Bertie, I've got a man from the ministry to lunch. This is Jasper. I don't know his other name.
Can you dance the Charleston?
Well, give him a stiff drink. He's carried my plants across the park.
Oh, damn decent of you. What will you have? Like to try one of my Manhattans? Or my special dark lady? Or Angel's Tears?
Oh, well, I'll have whatever you're having, please, sir.
Oh, I think it should be a dark lady today. Sit down, dear boy.
Thank you, sir. I take it you have a private coach on the line, sir?
I own it.
Oh, you own the coach?
I own the railway. I bought the branch line, Station North, when they closed it. Railway people made me a present of the locomotive, and a fellow called Jones found the coaches in a siding in Palmer's Green. He's always got an eye for a bargain. The railway people said I could have them for a song, if I could get them here. Now, see how you like this.
Thank you, sir. Yes, is one of the ingredients, Dubonnet?
No, beetroot. It's cheaper.
Delicious. How on earth did you get the coaches down here?
Blackmail. The footplate men were threatening to come out on strike. Jones told the local branch of the union that he'd arranged for me to appear on television, waggle me stumps, and tell them how it was a railwayman's fault I lost my legs in 1926. I wouldn't have done it, of course, but they couldn't risk it. I ran the coaches down here while the strike was on. There was a lot of confusion on the railways at the time. Cleaned the coaches and oiled the engine before they went and elected me vice president of the Flaxfield branch of the union.
Luncheon is ready.
Give me a push. There's a good fellow. Thank you. Over there, old chap. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, always did enjoy eating on the train. Meals weren't always what they might have been. But now I have the best of both worlds. Home cooking and a change of scene. Oh, is Chloe in the cab?
Yes, dear.
Our eldest daughter. Shouldn't boast, I suppose, but she's a damn good engine driver. 117. Yes. Care to flag her out?
Oh, thank you.
Precisely.
Will you have soup? It's mulligatawny.
Thank you.
Don't slop it, Tilly.
When you've done that, Tilly, go into the saloon and put Baghouse Blues on the phonograph. What have we here? Very nice.
We ate a splendid four-course lunch, all served by Matilda, while the train made the journey to Flaxfield and back.
Lady Belinda seems to suggest that you lived on the train.
Of course. Front coach is a sleeper.
Very comfortable it is, too.
This is where you get off, young man. Arcady Halt. 2:26, 1 minute late. Not Chloe's fault. I told you we didn't want the claret tickled up. Well, hurry up, young man, or we'll be really late back at the terminus. That won't do.
Hello, I'm Quirk. I'm the archivist of the Department of Output Statistics.
Hello, I'm Jasper Pye.
The professor sent me along to welcome you. We heard on the grapevine you'd probably arrive on the Flamborough Flyer. Hope you're none the worse for the experience. I had an excellent lunch. They usually rope me in as fireman. I gather you're on a tour of inspection.
Oh, hardly that, no. I've just come to discuss the work with Professor Pollux. And with you, of course. I must say, it's all very well kept up, even the moat.
All the professor's doing.
Really? I wouldn't have thought he had much time with the statistical work.
Well, he doesn't neglect his work. You'll find everything shipshape. The professor's a great stickler for order and method.
Oh, no, I didn't. I wasn't, I wasn't, no, I haven't come to... Ah!
Welcome to Arcady, Mr. Pye.
How do you do, Professor? I hope I haven't arrived at an inconvenient time.
In Arcady, Mr. Pye, we are fortunate in having more time at our disposal than you restless people in London. Our place of business was erected some 470 years ago, more than 100 years before the fragment that remains of your palace in Whitehall. With so much time behind us, we should be churlish if we didn't spare a wee bit for so rare a pleasure as a visit from the ministry.
Well, good.
A clerk will show you to your room later. You will move out of the Valley Arms, won't you? Now we know that you're here. Before that, I will show you the office. I can see you're impressed by our workroom, and rightly so. This is Miss Mounsey, our department secretary.
How do you do?
How do you do? What a magnificent room. How do you manage to get any work done?
Oh, it's most convenient. The mouse... I'm sorry to say that Miss Mounsey here is known as the mouse. I don't think she bears us any ill will because of it. She sits there by the window. I sit opposite the fireplace at that refectory table, and the professor sits at the far end, up on the dais.
I always tell Quirk, when he has any bother with his firing system, one only has to look at the ceiling and one will find described, analysed, indexed and cross-indexed the human character in all its foibles and quirks.
Foibles and quirks.
Where do you keep all your files?
These are the arms of the Verley family. They indicate the relationships by marriage on which the family fortunes were based. It is quite extraordinary, Mr. Pye, how the Verley family have kept itself to itself.
It's fascinating. Where do you keep all your foreign publications?
Since the 17th century, there has hardly been a single instance of a Verley marrying anyone who was not related to them. Lady Flamborough is second cousin to her husband. Their eldest daughter, Chloe, is married to her first cousin, Lionel Verley, who is heir to the title and estate.
Hello again.
Yes, hello again.
Do you like being kissed?
Well, yes, I mean, of course.
Well, what I mean is some men don't like being kissed. They prefer to do the kissing themselves.
Oh, I see. You mean there's a difference between active and passive kissing?
Yes, if you like to put it that way. I like both, as a matter of fact. First I like to be active, then passive, then both at the same time.
Well, I suppose I should say that I like kissing more than being kissed. It's a more manly attitude, really, isn't it? But, though I wouldn't have dreamt of kissing you when I trod on your toe just now, I must admit I did rather enjoy being kissed by you.
You ought to see how you like being the kisser instead of the one who's kissed.
Ought I?
Yes, you ought. In a moment, I'm going to offer you my lips, or cheek, or ear, whatever you choose. And I'll be jolly disappointed if you don't see how you like it.
I wouldn't dream of disappointing you.
Then which would you prefer? Lips, cheek, or ear? You kiss beautifully.
Jasper is a bore.
Suppose you're enjoying yourself too much to help me carry these plants, Linda. I promised to take them to a woman in the village. I thought I'd enjoy the walk, but they're heavier than I thought.
I'll take them. I have to collect my things from the pub.
Ah, you're going to stay at the house. Good. Linda, run along and make sure Jasper's going to be comfortable. And imagine Quirky's very strong on bodily comforts.
Oh, yes. I'd like to make sure Jasper's comfortable, Mummy. See you soon.
I really must apologise, Lady Flounder.
Oh, nonsense. You could possibly stay at the pub.
No, I mean, for rather embarrassing meetings.
I'm never embarrassed. If you'll take a middle-aged woman's advice, you'll never be embarrassed either.
But I really ought to explain.
No, don't try. The ways of the ministry are quite inscrutable. You may be an agent from MI5, for all I know. Doesn't matter in the slightest, as long as you don't mind carrying the bridal wreath.
The bridal wreath? I have to tell you that the situation in which you found us was quite, fortuitous.
Fortuitous? Amusing. I never heard it called that before. But tell me, how do you like the bridal wreath?
Lady Flounder, look, I have to tell you, I have no intention of getting married.
No? Well, you can have one all the same. I'd give you that one if I hadn't promised it to a cottager in the village.
You mean this pot plant?
Is what is known as the bridal wreath. Spirea arguta.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Lady Flounder. I'd love one. I'd like to book out. There's nothing wrong with my room. It's just that I've been invited to stay at Arcady Hall.
Not as the guest of Professor Duncan McAllister Pollux. Professor of Pomposity at the University of Aberdeen, and...
Yes, I am the guest of Professor Pollux.
Well, my dear sir, kindly remember to spell it with a P and not a B.
Don't take any notice of him, dearie. It's just his little joke. He don't always see eye to eye with the Professor. But the Professor's done a lot of good for Arcady.
His lordship needs someone like him to manage the estate for him.
Mr. Jones, what can I get you?
Pint of pig's ear, please, Dimple. Evening, gents. Lovely time of year for the weather.
Jones, are you the man who got the railway coaches for Lord Flamborough?
So what if I am?
I believe you have the collector's bug. I may have something for you.
Oh, yes?
I bought a ticket from Liverpool Street to Arcady yesterday.
No, you can't have. The line ends at Flaxfield. The branch line to Arcady was closed 4 years ago.
Yes, I didn't know that, and neither, it seems, to Liverpool Street Station.
This is a collector's item. Liverpool Street to Arcady. And dated 4 years after they closed the line. This is the ticket equivalent of the unperforated stamp. What do you want for it?
Oh, no, you're welcome to it. It's no use to me.
Oh, much obliged to you, sir. I dare say you don't realise the value of a curiosity like this to a student of serendipity like myself.
Serendipity? What the blazes is serendipity? Something naughty, I'll be bound.
Serendipity is the lucky chance by which I picks up unconsidered trifles. And I don't mean picking up glasses in a bar.
Eh? That's meant for me, is it?
Steady. Mr. Jones was just having his little joke, like what you did earlier.
I can take a joke as well as the next man, but if some tuppenny-halfpenny cockney pipsqueak who's only here on sufferance is going to make offensive remarks...
Please, he was only joking.
I don't want you to think I can't take a joke. Jones is all right, really. Thinks we're all a lot of old has-beens down here, and I expect he's right. But you see the family motto, the Burley family motto up there? Hic Manimus, here we stay. Relics, that's what we are. Collector's pieces. That's why this picker-up of unconsidered trifles finds us of interest. With something to stick in his scrapbook.
Who on earth was that?
That was only Lionel Verley, husband of Lord Flamborough's oldest daughter, Chloe, and heir to the title and the estate. Funny old world, isn't it?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Allow me.
Oh, thank you.
Do you bat or bowl or both?
I beg your pardon?
I can see you're a cricketer. We shall be glad of you for the Flaxfield match on Saturday, our derby game. It's our 100th match this season. We're always short of players at harvest time.
Oh, well, I do play a bit. I suppose my batting isn't quite as indifferent as my bowling, but I'm totally out of practice.
Naturally, that's what I've come to tell you. We're practicing now. Lionel, our champion batsman, is already at the nets.
Oh, no, I hardly think he's in a fit state for cricket practice. I haven't any kit.
Well, of course not. That's what I've come to tell you. I found you a spare pair of trousers and a pair of boots and a place to change.
Oh, no, wait, I don't think... I really... No. Cricket seems to take up a lot of your time.
Not to the neglect of my duties.
Oh, no, I didn't. I wasn't. Good Lord.
Classy.
Not enough ballast.
Yeah! Knocked him in the old Kent Road!
Half a pint on the stumps, and a large scotch for anyone who catches me.
Oh, sounds good.
Never mind. It's your batting we're playing you for. Oh, it's a tradition of the club. We retrieve the ball ourselves when it's been hit into the woods.
You won't find anything unless you look. You won't hear anything unless you listen.
Who is it? Who are you? Where are you?
You won't find what you want by looking on the ground.
Ah. You're in the tree, aren't you? who are you?
I'm the ghost of Bonnie Prince Charlie in the Boscobel Oak.
Oh, it wasn't Bonnie Prince Charlie who sheltered in the Boscobel Oak. It was Charles II. And this is a beech tree.
Ah. Well, I'm the ghost of Charles II, then.
You seem to be the wrong sex for Charles II.
I'm a hermaphrodite, actually. I'm a lost soul. I can take on human form, male or female, at will.
Oh, well...
Can you catch?
Well, yes, of course I can catch. I'm a newly elected member of the Arcady Cricket Club, so...
Can you catch with your eyes closed?
I could try.
Well, walk forward till you're standing underneath the lowest branch of the tree. Hold out your arms. And close your eyes. If you open them, I shall put a spell on you and you'll become a lost soul too. Catch!
Oh.
You're rather a butterfingers, aren't you?
Well, I wasn't prepared for such a handful. Look, would you mind loosening your stranglehold? I'm having trouble getting up.
Only if you swear to keep your eyes shut.
I swear. Right, now,
Ah, another fortuitous situation.
You promised you wouldn't open your eyes. Now you've lost me.
My cottager was delighted with the bridal wreath.
Oh, good, good.
I do hope your work is going well.
Well, I don't seem to be having much time, really, what with one thing and another.
Well, life can be so full, can't it? Is this what you were looking for? With your eyes shut?
It is marked in a 17th century plan as the eating room, and that is how it is still described today. Although the company that usually sits here consists of just 3 civil servants, we do respect tradition and adhere to the old terminology. I hope, Mr. Pye, you will not refer to it in your report as the canteen.
Oh, no, my report will be concerned with the work done, not with the topography of the office.
So you are going to write a report, Mr. Pye? I had put my own interpretation on your visit, but this is the first direct intimation I have been given of its purpose.
Since you know that I'm preparing a report, perhaps we could discuss the unit's work now?
No.
Oh. Well, it doesn't matter then. There's plenty of time.
We have to attend a conference in Lord Flamborough's train to decide on the programme for the fete. Perhaps you'd join us.
Yes, I'd like that.
Aye, my dear Pye, you are going to join in, are you not? You too are an Arcady now.
Ah, come in, Prof. Come in, Quirky. I'm glad to see you brought this young fellow from the ministry. He'll have some ideas for us. He tells me he can dance the Charleston.
He's a useful opening bat, too.
Oh, what a fellow.
Shall we begin? I should like to propose his lordship takes the chair. Seconded.
Declined. I never could be trusted with fallen women. Let's take our orders from the Prof, as usual.
The Lord has spoken. I have much pleasure in seconding the Professor for the chair of female delinquency.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Lord, ladies, gentlemen, and Jones, I appreciate your confidence in me. The marquee and the catering are in hand, and I have arranged for the provision of a pig and a set of bulls with which to bull for them. I have also secured a Suffolk ham which will be suspended from a tree and awarded to the competitor who succeeds in pinking it with a foil or épée blindfolded.
I hope you've arranged for the St. John's ambulance people to be present.
We must have fireworks.
Oh, that would come under any other ideas, Lady Belinda. We are at present considering the chairman's report. Her ladyship has agreed to organise a flower show, and the Lady Chloe is arranging a sweetie stall. I propose to call on Mr. Jones to put his talents as a salesman at our disposal and run a jumble sale.
Jumble? Jumble, not on your live cock. Call it relics and curios, if you like, or treasure trove, not jumble.
Right. That concludes the chairman's report. We come now to the next item on the agenda. Any other ideas? I believe you suggested pyrotechnics, Lady Belinda.
Well, I think we should have fireworks. Rockets, Catherine wheels, golden rain.
And a set piece, I suggest, illustrating a woman in the act of falling.
Flagrante delicto. Sorry.
Right, I'll organise the fireworks then, shall I?
I'm all lit up. Lit up like a Christmas tree. If you're talking of a firework display, I suggest all you need do is set a match to my breath.
What about Mr. Pye?
Ah, yes. What about Mr. Pye?
Well, perhaps I could arrange something in the nature of, treasure hunt?
Oh, I forgot to mention that. It's already been arranged. It's been organised by the kiddies from the primary school.
Think again, chum.
Why can't he put on a demonstration of the Charleston? I dare say the village girls would gladly pay 6pence a time for a hop with him.
I have an idea our shy Mr. Pye is not too keen.
Perhaps Mr. Pye has a talent for fortune-telling. We did very well with Madame Fatima last year.
Yes, and the chiropodist from Flaxfield who did it has moved to Brightlingsea.
I used to know a little girl from Brightlingsea. Name of Ada. Platinum blonde. She threw me over for a pork butcher. Pity. Still, never mind. I got Susie now.
Ignoring that contribution, what do you say, Mr. Pye, to impersonating Madame Fatima?
Well, I've never done that sort of thing, and I'm not sure that I'd be very convincing. And I'm not sure that I'll still be here.
Oh, you'll still be here.
I know what Mr. Pye could do convincingly. He could kiss the girls at a shilling a time.
Yes, or even half a crown.
Oh, really, Lady Belinda? Really, Lady Matilda?
Perhaps it's a role more suited to Lionel.
I'm not kissing any girls. I've got my Susie to deal with.
Do we know who this Susie is?
Could be that chorus girl from Lowestoft.
Is there any other business?
How about an ankle competition? I'm sure Mr. Pye is a very good judge of ankles.
I was getting a bit irritated by the assumption that I was interested in kisses and ankles.
Well, all right, then, yes, I'll judge ankles.
But I couldn't say no to everything.
A good man. I knew you'd stay.
Traction engines.
Will you be quiet?
It's any other idea, isn't it? This isn't any other idea. It's a traction engine rally idea. And I had the idea, and I've organised it for the fete.
You've organised a traction engine rally?
Yes, Ducky. I've been round all the pubs in Thetford and Diss and Beccles and Bungay, and I've rallied the Black Caps. 11 engines will assemble on the green at noon on Bank Holiday Monday. And I must go. Susie's outside.
Outside? Lionel, really?
Come on, Prof. Come and meet Susie.
Oh, this is preposterous. Outrageous. We haven't even finished any other ideas.
Yeah, wheel me to the door, Jonesy. There's a good fellow. Must see what she's like. One never can be sure with Lionel's girls.
Linda, Tilly, come and have a look at this. Meet the new girlfriend. Isn't she a smasher?
Well, we seem to have fallen into an error of deduction.
Perhaps he really has organised this rally.
Oh, not again.
Will you help me get him home?
Of course, Lady Clary.
Bubbly, that's what we want. Magnums and Jeroboams and bubbly. Oh,
You're going to lie down for a little while first, Lionel?
Mm-hmm. It's just like a wife, always fussing like an old hen. Will you bring me the brandy, ducky?
You stay there, darling. I'll see if I can find some. He'll fall off to sleep now. He usually does. Thank you. Should we go down to the buttery and have a drink ourselves? I could do with one. Do you mind sitting in one of these awful chairs? I'll see what there is to drink. I keep the door locked when Lionel's in one of his states. I don't like to risk him going down the dungeon steps and breaking his neck.
What fascinating names these rooms have. Damask room, moonlight room, gilded turret, Gothic chamber. Sir Almeric's room. Are you all right?
Please forgive me.
What's the matter?
I mustn't let it go.
Is it Lionel? Oh, Chloe. Poor Chloe.
You are so sweet.
I felt that on my first day at Arcady Hall, I had lived through half a lifetime. I had been given the Moonlight Room. It didn't take me long to realize why that was its name. It was hard to believe that it was little more than 48 hours since I'd overheard Deirdre saying, "Yes, I know, Jasper is a bore." I couldn't put out of my mind the picture of Matilda at the window of the ruined chapel, gazing at me so earnestly from those deep, penetrating eyes. I recalled how she kissed me. Her kisses had been innocent, yet curiously intense and passionate. I thought of Belinda. How different, how abundantly real was Belinda. I couldn't deny that I was still tingling with the physical contact of that kiss near the coppice. And yet, only half an hour ago, I'd been kissing Chloe in the dungeon. That kiss had seemed to mean something, to be an expression of true emotion. I suppose it was quite appropriate for a civil servant to be kissed in triplicate. But it had prevented me from getting down to my investigation of the work done by Output Statistics. There was something odd and improbable, yet rather piquant, about the real moonlight falling on the imitation moonlight of the paintings. Moonshine. Was it all moonshine? The girl in the tree, the pier in the Pullman car? Was it all a Midsummer Night's Dream from which I should awake to sober reality in the morning? Come to me at midnight in Sir Almeric's room. come to me. That sounded like a woman, but which woman? Chloe wouldn't act like that. Belinda might. I could imagine La Belle Sauvage disporting herself with bow and arrow. Or Matilda. She had that romantic, gothic streak. I might never find out who it was unless I found the answer to an even more urgent question. Where was Sir Almeric's room? I'd been dreaming. Dreaming about arrows and secret rooms. Or had I been dreaming? Had I only dreamt that I'd got dressed, searched the house for Sir Almeric's room and the sender of that mysterious message, and never found them? I hadn't been dreaming. It was time to get down to work. Mark Fairweather hoped that I would suggest the closure of the Department of Output Statistics. I needed to find out much more about it, and quickly, if I was to justify such a recommendation.
Good morning, Mr. Pye.
Good morning, Miss Mancy. I was hoping to have a word with Professor Pollux.
Oh, he's gone to see the rector about the arrangements for the fete.
Oh, well, as long as it's something vital. Well, then perhaps I could have a chat to Mr. Quirk.
Oh, he's gone with the professor. Can I help?
Well, since every other member of the Department of Output Statistics is seeing the rector, yes, I hope you can. I'm sorry. I hope that didn't sound rude.
Please, do sit down.
How long have you been here, Miss Mancy?
Oh, nearly 5 years. Mr. Quirk got in touch with me through a cricketing friend of his in the Ministry of Works. And I thought Suffolk would make a pleasant change from Dulwich Village, where I lived.
And has it?
Well, yes. Although it is rather difficult for a girl to fit in here the way the Professor and Mr. Quirk do, for instance.
Yes, they do fit in here, then.
Oh, yes. They're really part of the place. The Professor knows every detail about the history and architecture of the hall. And with Mr. Quirk, it's cricket and village life.
And Lord Flamborough doesn't mind them being here?
Oh, on the contrary. I don't suppose he could afford to keep the place going himself. And he'd never find a land agent or bailiff to look after the estate the way the Professor does.
I see. So he leaves all that sort of thing happily to the Professor, does he?
Oh, he never interferes. Quite honestly, I don't think he'd dare to. Everyone's just a bit frightened of the Professor.
Now, these, statistics, how do you actually go about the process of collating them?
Oh, I don't have much to do with the statistics, except for typing them. Mr. Quirk is the statistical expert. You should see the marvellous graphs he makes up in connection with the County Cricket Championship.
So if Mr. Quirk is the statistical expert, what exactly does the Professor do?
Well, he runs the department.
Yes. Yes, of course. Now, you have no other staff. How do they manage when you go on leave?
Oh, Lady Belinda lends a hand.
Oh, she can type, can she?
Lady Belinda is a very capable person.
Yes, so I gather. Yes, someone was saying, I think, that she was very good at archery.
Archery? Not Lady Belinda. I mean, not to my knowledge, anyway.
Oh, may I have a look?
Of course.
So, the Oporto Chronicle reports that 80% of clam distribution is now centralised in Portugal. Huh. You're a very privileged young lady, Miss Munsey, to work with such interesting material.
With the Professor and Mr. Quirk away, there wasn't a lot I could do.
Good morning, Mr. Pye.
Good morning, Mr. Valley. How are you this morning?
Very well. Tip-top form.
Good Lord. I mean, well, good.
I believe I'm in your debt, dear boy.
I'm sorry?
My wife tells me that you helped her put me to bed. Poor old Chloe, I'm a handful.
Well, yes, I did, actually. It was a pleasure. Not a pleasure, exactly. I mean, I was pleased to do it.
Uncommonly civil of you. I understand you had a drink and a chat with her.
Yes, I did have a drink and a chat with her.
Damn decent of you. I'm glad to know there is still some gentleman about. Do you fancy, hair of the dog?
Oh, no. Oh, it's a bit early for me.
Really? It's extraordinary. It's mighty a bit late for me.
She wants her 11s.
I felt a little awkward in Lady Flamborough's presence. It was the first time she'd come across me when I wasn't being kissed by one of her daughters.
Good morning, Lady Flamborough.
All on your own this morning, I see.
Yes.
Bad luck. Would you like to give her her victuals?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I would.
Just tear a small piece off and hold it out to her. She'll take it quite politely.
Does she have letters for 11s every morning?
Yes, she won't touch cucumber.
I don't seem to have the knack.
Well, she doesn't seem to fancy you, Mr. Pye.
What are you painting?
Ah! Oh, well, I thought the house would look rather good from this viewpoint.
Wait a minute, I've got a better idea. Do you do nudes?
There was a live class at the School of Art I went to, but I never really kept it up. Models are expensive.
I'm not. I'm free.
I meant professional models.
I'm not a professional model, I know. But I can keep still for an eternity. And I shan't charge you anything.
I don't think that would really be suitable.
I'm not here. I wasn't proposing to strip down in the garden. There are plenty of places. I know. Sir Almeric's room. You'll get the best light to the left of that window. Assuming that you're right-handed.
Oh, yes, I'm right-handed.
Good. For some reason, I'm faintly mistrustful of men who are left-handed. No idea why. Must be something Freudian.
Oh, I shouldn't have thought there was anything very Freudian about you. Surely aren't troubled by, complexes, are you?
Not normally. But I suppose that deep down I'm a dreadfully conventional person. It's more conventional to be right-handed, isn't it?
It's more usual. What's usual isn't quite the same as what's conventional, though, is it?
That's a terribly profound remark, isn't it?
Look, you sure this is all right?
What's the matter?
Well, nothing, but I mean, wouldn't we ought to ask your mother first?
Ask Mama. What an extraordinary idea. But you can if you like.
Mama! Mama! Jasper wants to paint me in the nude and he wants to ask your permission first. That's okay, isn't it?
Yes, of course. That's okay. How do you like me?
Splendid. No! Please don't take anything else off. No, I'm just going to have a shot at your torso only.
Not at full length. I think I'm better at full length.
No, I'm going to paint you from the waist up. I'm turned slightly to your right, so if you just sit down, please. Thank you. And lean forward very, very slightly, thank you. No, that's not quite right. You're all hunched up. Could you just be natural?
Come and arrange me how you want me. Push me about. I don't mind being handled. I like it. Breast okay?
Yes, quite okay. You compare very favourably to Gabrielle.
Who's Gabrielle? Girlfriend of yours?
Oh, no. She was Renoir's model. Yes, he painted her scores of times. You can certainly compete with her from the waist up.
I'll show you the rest as soon as you've finished.
No, thank you. It's only your torso I'm interested in.
Oh, what a pity.
Just hold that there. Yeah. That's it. I just want to catch that sulky look. Don't move. Please, don't say a word. You can ease up now.
I wasn't actually sulking, you know. I was merely disappointed. I honestly think the bottom half's just as good.
Oh, we've got quite enough to do with the top half today. You know, to tell you the truth, I'm getting really excited about the result.
I'm glad you're getting excited about something. I was beginning to think you were rather a cold fish.
Look, the question of whether I'm a cold fish or not doesn't really enter into the conversation. You see, I'm trying to paint a picture.
Sorry, Jasper. That Gabrielle, was she Renoir's mistress?
I haven't the least idea. Oh, sorry, she was his servant. She used to look after his children.
I'd like to be your servant. I'd look after your children quite competently, I think.
I haven't got any children. I'm not married.
I know, but you might have children just the same.
Oh, look, really, Lady Belinda, I'm not that kind of person.
Oh, dear. But do you have to address me as Lady Belinda?
Sorry. Belinda. I'm afraid I was being a bit pompous. People do say I am.
You're not pompous, you're sweet. Do you think we shall become lovers?
Really, I'm trying to concentrate on the underlying form. It presents rather a lot of problems.
I imagine a lot of things present rather a lot of problems for you. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I've almost finished. Well, yes, I suppose I do tend to look for difficulties.
I don't. I always do what's easiest. It's much pleasanter.
And do you think it would be easy for us to become lovers, do you?
It might present some difficulties, but I'm sure they could be overcome.
Well, I think I've finished all I can for one sitting.
May I see it?
Yes, if you care to, but please bear in mind it's only a rough sketch.
Gosh, Jasper, it's absolutely super. However do you manage it?
Belinda for modelling for me. No, I really ought to pack up all these things and put them somewhere. I don't want everybody coming in and staring at it. At any rate, until it's finished.
You could put everything behind the tapestry. There's an alcove in the wall over there. Nobody ever looks there except when the tapestries are spring cleaned. Here you are, plenty of room. You'll find a shelf in there for your brushes and paints.
really like me.
Allow me to go first.
Crumbs. I suppose this may be liable to misinterpretation.
Behind the tapestry. Quick!
Keep smiling.
Oh, but you're in for a nice wee surprise. This is Sir Almeric's room, so called after Sir Almeric Burnley, who was archer and ordinary to it. Hello, Mr. Pye. May I introduce Miss Tidy? Miss Tidy, Mr. Pye.
Mr. Pye and I met on the Flaxfield train the day before yesterday, Professor. Oh, these tapestries are exquisite.
May I see you sometime, Professor, to discuss the work of your department?
Of course, my dear Pye. My time is yours.
Oh, well, shall we say 10 minutes?
Impossible.
Oh.
Miss Tidy knew this house as a young lady. She was, I believe, very taken with his lordship. Lord Flamborough was a handsome man while he still had his legs. Miss Tidy has expressed a wish to see every nook and cranny. Every nook and cranny. This depicts Actaeon, the celebrated huntsman, son of Aristeus, who was changed into a stag.
Well, he doesn't seem to become a stag yet. Who's the lady without any clothes on?
That is Artemis, the huntress, the maiden divinity who was never conquered by love. A dangerous lady, eh, Pye?
Oh, yes, a very dangerous lady.
When her chastity was threatened by Orion, she slew him with an arrow. In this design, you see Artemis being spied on by Actaeon. She changed him into a stag, and he was torn to pieces by 50 dogs.
Oh, dear. I think that's slightly drastic, even for a peeping Tom, I'd have thought. May I feel the closeness of the weave?
Ah, no. Here's something you'll admire much more, Miss Tidy. These bed hangings are of infinitely finer workmanship.
Mr. Pye shows good taste. These bed hangings are indeed of superb quality.
Oh, how exquisite. How enchanting.
Observes the quaint archaic spelling. A rabbit spelt R-A-B-E-T and hawk spelt H-A-U-K-E.
Oh, and what a hawk, too. He'd miss nothing, would he? Rather like yourself, Professor.
Who's been disturbing this bed? Have you been having a siesta, Mr. Pye?
Oh, perhaps it was Artemis. But we don't want you turned into a stag, do we, Mr. Pye? Not before Saturday's cricket match, anyway.
Well, perhaps we should move on, Miss Tidy. I should mention that there are no less than 4 exits in this room. Great Scott!
Artemis? Or one of her nymphs?
As I was about to say, there are 4 secret doors and sliding panels in this room. I was mistaken. The sliding panel must be in the other wall. Perhaps you should move on, Miss Tidy.
I must just have another look at these bed hangings. Do you know who did them?
Anne Boleyn.
Really? Anne Boleyn herself? Exquisite.
I really think we should go, Miss Tidy.
Well, I never. The things one finds.
Beg your pardon?
Anne Boleyn's monogram. A.B. What a discovery.
Ah.
I think this must be your handkerchief. I picked it up by the bed.
It had been a nerve-wracking encounter. I sought peace and quiet in the gardens.
Have you finished my daughter off? Well? Your painting of Belinda. Is it done?
Ah. Well, half done.
Is it good?
That's hardly for me to say.
Oh, that sounds promising.
I beg your pardon?
Bad artists never stop talking about their work. Good artists seldom do. Did I see the professor looking out of the window with you?
Yes, he was showing a lady called Miss Tidy round the house.
You're real tidy. She was in love with Bertie once. I pipped her to the post. You seem a little flustered, Mr. Pye. Are you all right?
Oh, do I? Oh, no, I'm all right.
What a reticent young artist you are.
I'm sorry if I'm disappointing you.
Never mind. If there's anything to be told, I'm sure I shall hear it from the professor and Miss Tidy. Oh, dear. What a sigh.
Somebody else unhappy?
Oh, no, I'm just a little weary. It's so warm.
Thank you for last night. I was very grateful.
Yes, Lionel said he was grateful too.
He was. He was full of remorse this morning.
Oh, good.
No, it isn't good. He can't face his remorse, so it drives him to drink.
I don't suppose he'd have been grateful if he'd known that you kissed me.
I shouldn't have done it.
Glad you did.
Would you like a drink?
Yes, very much. I've been going out with her for a year or so, off and on. Never really worked as a relationship. This is odd.
What is?
Well, being able to talk about Deirdre like this without any feeling of disloyalty or distress. It's over, you see. She thinks I'm boring. Well, probably I am.
I don't think you're boring.
Well, I don't feel boring with you. I think you have a natural gift for inspiring confidence, and confidence is. Oh, dear. What have I said? Oh, Chloe. Is it because there are no confidences with Lionel?
I don't even want to think about my life with Lionel.
Can I help?
That's very kind of you, but it's none of your concern.
I'd like to help.
Nobody can help.
Nothing's ever as bad as it seems.
No, it isn't. That's why I feel so ashamed of myself for behaving like this.
A room with very little interest. You wanted a meeting with Mr. Pye. I think it's about time we had one. My office may commend itself to your masters in the White Hall. Here we are not making free of the taxpayers' money. We do not even boast a regulation square of carpet. Sit down, Mr. Pye. But not too heavily. We can't afford a cushion for the chair, and there is, I fear, woodworm in the seat.
May I ask you, Professor, what it is about your job here that has encouraged you to live in obscurity, when you could be making a name for yourself in the universities or in Whitehall?
You may indeed.
Well, I just have.
And I am considering my reply. An important question like that demands careful consideration.
I mean, what is it about the statistical unit that you see as being so important?
You have asked me two completely different questions, Mr. Pye. In answering the first, I shall employ a simple statistic, thereby, by implication, answering the second. You have been here 2 days. I have been here 17 years. 2 days, 17 years. Eloquent statistics. Have I answered your questions?
I'm not sure. Professor Pollux, the job of your unit is to collate and analyse foreign publications, is it not? Now, there are so many aspects of this about which I need to question you.
Such as?
Such as, can you possibly see all foreign publications? If not, I mean, how do you select them? How do you acquire them? In what way do you collate them? By what criteria do you analyse them? In what precise way do you employ statistics? And what is the overall purpose of your work?
Even so eminent a statistician like myself cannot answer 7 questions at once, Mr. Pye.
Professor, in considering the future of your department...
So, that is what your report is all about. We are in danger of being disbanded. I had my suspicions, but this is the first direct intimation of its purpose. Mr. Pye, if I am fighting for my life, will you give me time to prepare my case?
How much time do you require?
Will you wait until after Monday? Will you allow me to concentrate on my fate, when I no longer have half my mind on the fate?
That seems fair.
Good. You will no doubt find ways of amusing yourself in the interim.
After the events of the morning, I felt unequal to sitting down to lunch with the professor. I decided to have some sandwiches in the Burley Arms. I realized as soon as I entered, I'd made a mistake.
Ah.
Have a pint of bitter and a beef sandwich, please, Dimple.
Mustard or horseradish?
Mustard, please. English.
How are you getting on with those statistical chappies? You've got to give them the push, have you? Tell them the show's over.
Mr. Lionel, I'm sure Mr. Pye doesn't want to talk about work. There we are, sir. That'll be 2 and 6 with sandwich.
Oh, right, thank you, Dimple. No, I'm just here to have a look at things.
I wouldn't blame you if you did give them the push and never seemed to do anything. The woman, you know, the mousy one, is the only one I ever see working. But you'll find it difficult to give them the push when you get to know them better. The professor's as pompous as a pumice stone, and Quirk's about as much fun as a face flannel, but you find you get to like them. You see my wife at all today?
Well, I did run into her, yes.
Good man. I hope you were nice to her. I hope you cheered her up.
Well, yes, I think I was nice to her. I hope I cheered her up.
Good man. There aren't many gentlemen left.
As I walked, becoming increasingly conscious of the remoteness and isolation of Arcady from the outer world, I thought about Lionel's remarks. Curiously, I felt no guilt at exploiting his drunkenness. Arcady was already beginning to make me feel quite amoral. Lord Flamborough's train wasn't in the station, but Jones, the curious Cockney collector, was.
Afternoon, Alcott.
Oh, good afternoon.
Here, you interested in cigarette cards? Because I got a few swaps of Wills's Cricketers, 1901. Or an Ogden's Golden Guinea?
Thank you, I don't collect cigarette cards.
Oh. Well, the bloke what gives me a ticket from Liverpool Street to Arcady, dated 4 years after the line closed, deserves something in return. Autographs, then. How about a little Titch? Or a Bobby Jones?
I don't collect autographs either. Look, to tell you the truth, I don't collect anything.
Oh.
Well, let's get back to the hall.
Oh. I'll keep you company if you don't mind. I always enjoy a latter.
Oh, Any use to you?
No, it's used. Clipped in 2 places, see? Single from Flaxfield to Arcady. Can't make out the date. Oh, there's a message round the edge. Meet me in the chapel ruins at 6. Good Lord.
Is that for you, do you think?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so. Could be for you.
Me? No. I'm not the sort of bloke people meet in chapel ruins. You are.
Arcady had provided so many improbabilities that I was quite prepared for another. I jumped, but I wasn't surprised.
Well, whoever you are, you seem to be very much alive at the moment. May I see the rose in your cheeks?
This is the murk and fearful hour when injured ghosts complain. Now dreary graves give up their dead to haunt the faithless swain.
I believe that I've met you before. And you are certainly no ghost. Where are you this time?
I live on a higher plane than you, sir.
How do I raise myself to your level?
Is Sir Jasper perhaps rather a faint-hearted villain?
Not at all. Is this ivy safe?
I'm not at all sure that I am safe.
What happens now?
Really, Sir Jasper, it isn't for me to say. The defenceless maid's hardly expected to assist her pursuer.
Wait!
Get the dirty thread!
No, I'll pull you down, I'll pull you down!
Get rid of it! I've got you, I've got you. Come on, get it on your throat!
Oh. Oh, phew. I thought I was going. Thank you for showing me such presence of mind.
Thank you for the honour of your company, Sir Jasper. You're afraid of heights, aren't you? Sexy men often are.
You aren't afraid of heights?
No, I'm not sexy, you see. Not like Belinda. I'm intensely romantic, but I'm not interested in sex.
Look, here, Matilda, I really am not used to conversations like this.
Well, you better get used to it. We're going to have to spend the night up here now the ivy's collapsed.
No, we can't do that. Hey! Help! Help! What are you doing?
I'm going to read to you. My eyes followed with dread the course of the dagger. She had torn open her habit and her bosom was half exposed. The weapon's point rested upon her left breast. And oh, that was such a breast. The moonbeams darting full upon it enabled the monk to observe its dazzling whiteness. His eye dwelt with insatiable avidity upon the beauteous orb. A sensation till then unknown filled his heart with a mixture of anxiety and delight. A raging fire shot through every limb. The blood boiled in his veins.
Stop! I can hear someone coming.
Bother, you've interrupted one of my favourite bits.
Help! Help!
There is someone! Help! Help!
For heaven's sake, don't fall down now.
I'm as safe as houses. Oh!
What?
Oh! Help! Help!
Leave the lassie alone, sir. We have 2 witnesses here. Pye! By God! It's Pye again, Quirk!
Yes, don't get alarmed, Professor. Everything's quite all right. But Lady Matilda is a little nervous.
I'll go and get a ladder! There's one at the station.
Good man. Stay quite still where you are, Mr. Pye. We'll soon reach you. Have no fear, Lady Matilda. I've got my eye on him.
Nobody spoke at breakfast on Saturday. Had they accepted my explanation? Probably not. It had sounded extremely unlikely, even though it was entirely true. The professor made a show of being absorbed in his morning mail. Quirk seemed to be deeply concerned with the county cricket reports.
A message has just come up from the station. His lordship would be much obliged if Mr. Pye would call on him this morning.
Thank you, Miss Mounsey.
I felt like a condemned man on his last morning as I finished my hearty breakfast.
Better be going along, Pye.
Oh dear, this is rather upsetting. I was going to give Mr. Pye a few balls in the nets this morning to get his eye in for the match this afternoon.
Cricket isn't the be-all and end-all of life, Quirk. I think his lordship has something rather important to say to Mr. Pye. I had a word with his lordship and her ladyship last night, and I think I know the matter that he wishes to discuss.
I walked to the station like a schoolboy on his way to a painful interview with the headmaster. I had attempted to resist the advances of Belinda. I had been an innocent participant in Matilda's fantasies. I had brought Chloe only such consolation as she had craved. It was extraordinary, but it was not my fault. However, I could hardly expect the father of the 3 ladies to see it that way.
Are you hep?
I beg your pardon?
Are you hep? I think that's how they put it these days.
Ah, hep! I don't think I am, actually, no.
You can do the Charleston, though, can't you? I mean, you said so. How about doing a solo now? I can't provide you with a partner. The girls are up at the village, but you probably get on better solo.
Look, I'd rather not. I believe, I believe, sir, there was something that you wanted to talk to me about.
Yes, there was indeed. Yeah, it'll wait, it'll wait. How about having a quick Charleston now, though? Yes? Which would you prefer? Your fascinating rhythm, or I wonder where my baby is tonight. Ouch.
No, I'd really rather not. You see, sir, I think there's been some sort of misunderstanding, and I would like to clear it up.
Misunderstanding? I fail to see how what I have to say to you can permit of any misunderstanding whatsoever. What about, Sweet Hortense? Yeah, it's a bit early for the Charleston, but the rhythm's right.
Well, yes, it is a bit early. I really don't feel I could dance the Charleston at this hour.
I wasn't talking about the time of day. I meant Sweet Hortense belongs to an earlier period than the Charleston, but it's got the right beat. Right. OK, try it. You say what you like about modern gramophones. They don't give you that same harsh, tinny sound you get out of this. I mean, you need that for jazz. It gets flavour to it. Now we're ready. Let it rip.
It's disgraceful, Bertie.
What are you talking about, Mabel?
It is a scandal. There is no other word for it.
I can explain everything.
I've been swindled. It isn't a Damascena versicolor at all. It's a Rosa Mundi.
What isn't? What is?
The rose I bought from Piggott and Higginbottom in the autumn is just come into bloom, and it isn't a York and Lancaster after all. It is a Rosa Mundi.
Yeah, well, sickening. Don't interrupt us, Mabel. This fellow from the ministry is going to do a solo Charleston. Good Lord, are you all right?
Yes, I just came over a bit faint.
You need exercise. Sweet Hortense will tickle you up.
I really don't feel like Sweet Hortense.
Oh, you're probably right. You'd rather have a genuine Charleston tune.
It's the word versicolour that confuses. They're both called versicolour, but the York and Lancaster is a damask rose, and the Rosa Mundi is a Gallica.
Never mind all that, Mabel. What's this fella going to dance to?
No, but you see, Bertie, what they simply won't grasp is that the York and Lancaster doesn't have red and white stripes on the same bloom. It has quite distinct blooms. Some red, some white.
Could we leave the dancing for another time? I feel we ought to clear up that other matter first.
I won't hear of it. Just found the very record for you. I wonder where my baby is tonight.
All right.
Hotcha, hotcha! Give it all you've got! Come on, give it all you've got! That's the rhythm! Okay, buddy! Ah, Charleston, Charleston! If my baby does the Charleston, Charleston, I wonder who is teaching her the Charleston, Charleston. I wonder where she's gone, or how she's getting on. I wonder where my baby is tonight. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh. I haven't had such a workout for months. Reminds me of the old days at the 43. God, before your time, of course. Towards dawn, Mrs. Merrick used to let me play the drums. We used to burn the place up. Pity the Bobbies had such a down on the old girl. She was a sweetie. Dead now, I suppose.
Yes, that, I suppose, was before you lost your...
Before I had my legs chopped off, you mean? Yes, just before. Yes, I went back again once or twice afterwards, but it wasn't quite the same. The girls seemed sorry for me, you know. They used to get morbid when they'd had a glass or two of bubbly. No good getting morbid at the 43. I haven't been up to town since then, except for a couple of coronations. Now, let's have another number. Now, ready for Sweet Hortense? Now you're warmed up. Hmm?
Oh, no, sir, don't you think we ought to deal with this other matter first?
Yes, I suppose we should. Yeah, there was something I had to say to you, and I can't for the life of me remember what. I suppose you wouldn't have any idea what it was.
Well, it's a rather difficult thing for me to broach.
Is it? Oh, it's intriguing. Oh, well, it'll come back. Now, what do you say to Riverboat Shuffle or Black Bottom Stomp?
Well, look, sir, I'd like to hear either of them, but I'm supposed to be going back to the nets to get some practice for the cricket match, so if you can't remember what it was you wanted to speak to me about, perhaps I better get back, sir.
Cricket match. I remember what it was.
You do?
Yes, how could I forget a thing like that? We want you to present the prizes at the fete on Monday. Will you?
Present the prizes at the fete? You want me to present the prizes?
Well, you're the man from the ministry. You're the big shot. You've made a hit personally down here. Everyone's pretty impressed by you, especially the women. You've got what it takes. God, you lucky fellow. God.
But, what will the professor think of this?
The professor? Actually, it was the professor who suggested it. Came to see me last night. You seem to have impressed him as much as anyone. What's up, my dear chap? Not keeling over again.
Oh, sorry. So was that was all you wanted to see me about?
Yes, my dear chap, that was it. Silly of me to have forgotten. You'll say yes, of course.
Oh. Well, yes.
That's fine. You need another Charleston. The last one worked wonders. I'd like you to try Sweet Hortense. It has a peculiarly quick but unobtrusive beat. Just the thing for a ladies' man like you. Give it all you've got. Wonderful. Hot, hot.